Oh, hello, hello. It is a late night, and I hope everybody can hear me. Tomorrow I have another appointment in the morning, so I will not be going into work tomorrow. So I was up for a little bit, finished doing some chores and um, cooking, and now I'm just kind of relaxing. And I had some kind of thoughts come to my mind today. Random topics. If you could see, the title is People Are Getting Crazier by the Day. Hey, Hassan. I'm doing okay. How are you? Seen Lena. Who is that? You mean Selena? Thank you, Hassan, for coming through. People are getting crazier by the day, honey. Um, and some people we just cannot get along. I, for some of you guys, know that I started a new job, so that's been pretty interesting. I'm at another school, so I went from elementary to junior high school. So it's not as bad. The kids are typical kids. They think they grown when they not, and but who I find the hardest to deal with is sometimes some adults that don't respect boundaries and they don't know how to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Um, and just because people have a administration job, they have a high level job, doesn't mean that they have interpersonal skills. Doesn't mean that they know how to engage and how to talk to people in a respectful way, in a respectful tone. So never get fooled by people's education or their credentials to to be where they are, because that still doesn't mean that they're a good person. It still doesn't mean that they know how to deal with people. And I have another assistant principal. I don't know what it is about these assistant principals. I had one last year. Hey Orlando, just as ghetto, and but she got her bachelor's, master's, her certification to be a principal, you know. So she had some type of book sense, but as far as like people skills, Orlando, she lacked a lot in that. And then I was so blessed, not really, sarcasm, that her friend is now my other assistant principal, right? So I have ran into a situation. I'm in a little pickle now, learning to kind of deal with her, and she has the same attitude as her friend. Hey, pretty brown eyes. She has the same attitude as her friend. So she kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I can't go into details, but she kind of rubbed me the wrong way last week, the beginning of professional development we had to take before school started. And she was kind of watching me, and I figured, oh, her and her friend been talking. Mind you, these are two supposedly professionals that are unprofessional. But, I don't know how they hire these people. I think it's because they know somebody. And I really believe a lot of these people be taking their test, their certification test, because some of these people act like they are really slow. They don't know how to deal with people. They really lack in people skills. So, pretty brown eyes, I'm trying to uh basically keep my job, because you would think the kids would be the problem, but sometimes grown folks are the problem. Why is it that grown folks can't just live and let live? If there is a personality trait or something about you I don't like, I know how to move accordingly. My communication is limited with you, and I move around because I know that there's certain triggers about people, personalities. Yeah, right, because they're miserable. That I just cannot, I can not stomach. Okay, my patience is bad, and it's kind of crazy because I do work with kids, but I can understand kids that they need more patience than adults. Kids are kids, they're children. I don't care if they're in uh, elementary or in, you know, uh, middle school. You can understand that their brain has not developed all the way. But I'm starting to believe that some of these adults' brains um have not developed. Do what the fuck you want to do. Um, I don't know. Oh, okay. I didn't see you. Do what? Okay, how you doing? SBK, how are you? And so I'm starting to think that some of these grown people have they have their brains have not developed either. Right. These adults are on this app are crazy and they act like kids. Right. And not only on this app, but in your everyday life. Like I said, I'm talking about work. How you deal with folks that have these degrees and have all these credentials, but they don't even know how to work with other people. They don't even know how to be a leader of people. They don't know how to talk to people. And I'm the type of person, I'm very humble to an extent. But I always say, don't let the cute face fool you. I don't know what type of world these people live, but you ain't gonna be disrespecting me too many times, and I'm just gonna suck it up. Um, I do believe in Jesus, but I don't know about what you mean turn the other cheek, and is that literally? I don't know, but I know I have a problem with that scripture. Um, I can humble down and be, compliant. I'm not a person that likes to create a hostile environment, working environment. But at the same time, uh, don't keep pushing me because I'm already close to the edge. Okay, and I feel when I feel disrespected, it's pretty much a wrap. I don't want to talk to you. I want you to stay away from me because the next moment it might not be so good. You know what I'm saying? Like a little fireball. You know what I'm saying? I really just don't. I don't take lightly to a lot of disrespect. Okay, especially up in my face. I can't. Sometimes you can't do too much on the internet unless you just going back and forth with people. But when they in your face, that's a different story. That's close enough where you can reach out and touch them and not in love. Okay. You said, Selena, I'm out of town bus driver. I don't see my coworkers. And that's a great thing. I kind of wish if I wasn't in education, I kind of wish I was working at home. To be honest with you, I really just would like to work at home and answer, different customers' inquiry, their questions. But I don't want to deal with too much of these women that have power. Some of these women that have power, it goes to their head. And I'm gonna say women, but let me just say this, because some people might get offended, but I just have to call a spade a spade. I find it very difficult sometimes working with other black women that h- are that have some um you know their supervisors. Sometimes they can be, not all, but some, can be very catty. Um, they can also be, very belittling. And I'm gonna say some women. I'm not gonna just put that on some black women, but sometimes women in power, excuse me, women in power, especially when they are running certain things like schools, different things. Sometimes they use a lot of their emotional, pettiness, and just the pettiness of what, some women have, cattiness, and they use it against people. And sometimes some women, because we are super emotional and we can be very petty, are not sometimes good with leadership roles. Not all, but some. Okay, so let me repeat that. Hey, the answer. Um, but I do. Um, I don't. I think that some women are like that. Not all. There's another a supervisor that I had that was a woman, and she was she was cool. You know what I'm saying? But most of the supervisors that I get along with, and I have done very well with, have been men. Okay, I'm just gonna be quite honest with you. And I don't have a hey cutting edge. I don't have nothing against women, uh, having leadership roles, but sometimes I think some people and some men lack a lot of they have a lot of immaturity. And when they are petty, they are and catty, they're terrible supervisors because they always thinking with their emotions rather than thinking with logic. When people think more with their emotions than their logic, yes, you have to have a balance. You can't go around being a robot. There's sometimes we're going to get upset with some things. There's sometimes we're going to love some things. We're emotional beings. So we're not robots. So I don't expect anyone to have no feelings about anything. But at the same time, you have to have a balance. You have to have logic as well. Logic keeps you to see things in a way where it's balanced. You're not going at on your feelings all the time. If I went by me being angry at certain times, I would not be able to keep a job. I would not be able to keep a relationship. I would have a hard time with people in general because I'm ruled by my emotions rather than ruled by learning to be ruled by my logic. Hey, realist, if I was ruled by my emotions, I would walk off this job and not have another job or not find provision for myself. Um, if I was moved by my feelings, and that's how I see a lot of times people on social media. That's why a lot of people have beef and they can't let things go because they're more ruled by their emotions than what's the logic of it. You know what I'm saying? The logic of a lot of things, I think, keeps people balanced and they keep people in control. And I also put the link, hey Movado, I put the link on my community wall. So if anybody would like to test it and see, and come up on my panel, I would really appreciate it because I wanted to see if it works. So if somebody could do that or feel like it tonight, I would appreciate it because I did share the link and I wanted to see who could join. But anyway, so that's how I feel about it. I think a lot of times people are it can be men or women can actually be bad supervisors. I'm just saying for me and my personal experience, I have always got along really well with men supervisors and a few women supervisors because I am like some women, like some women can't get along with any woman. I can get along with a lot of women. Number one, As long as you're respectful to me, I'm gonna be respectful to you. I don't care if you look better than me or we competing or whatever, which I try not to do that, at my age. Once you get past 20, it's time for you to stop trying to compete. Just be a grown woman and be you, and those who like it, who those who don't. I ain't got time to compete. But I was just saying how sometimes it's difficult. You say, yeah, those idiots. Yeah, Movado. Like I said, I have dealt with a lot of different type of personalities, and one personality that I'm working with now on my at my current position. I'm just gonna be honest with you. She's a butthole. I mean, and that's very nice, considering what I really feel and what I really want to call her. But she's a straight up butthole. I gotta say it. And I'm still trying to figure out how did she get her degree? But just because you have book sense, that doesn't mean you actually have good sense. Okay. Let me repeat that again for the people in the back. Just because you have book sense, it doesn't mean you have good sense. It's a lot of people that are very, educated. They can read some material and memorize it and pass the test. They can, break down all types of theories and scientific theories and every math theories and all of that. And but when it comes to dealing with people and being able to be respectful, having knowing how to be diplomatic, they lack that. They really do. And it's a little thing called emotional intelligence and having great interpersonal skills where you're able to talk to people. Um, and how to talk to people is a very powerful thing because everybody is different, right? But one thing that is very common with most normal people, they they want you to be respectful to them. And some people kind of argue, well, how can you be respectful to somebody you don't know? Just treating people with common decency. If you step on somebody's toe, say excuse me and don't just walk off like you didn't do it, that kind of stuff. Or um, if you're talking and you're in a conversation, the person not over talking you and being rude. Those are just common decencies that we give other human beings, and you don't even have to know them. Hey, Lionel. You don't even have to know them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think that a lot of the times I'm just be like, I can't believe you sit up here, you done got your degree, you got all these credentials, and you don't know how to engage with people. You don't know how to talk to people. You're nasty. Not only are you ugly on the outside, but you're ugly on the inside. I mean, you can't I can't make this stuff up. This lady, Lord, let me just stop. Hey, Alan. So you have to deal with people that have these ugly behaviors, and it's sometimes you just be like, why we all just can't get along? Why people can't just respect other people's differences and move on? Why people have to keep beating a dead horse? Why do people have to keep crossing people's boundaries when they tell them to back the hell up? Like, why can't people just stop being so vicious? And if you don't like somebody, just move on. Like, I just be having these whys in my mind. I just do. You said ugly people are interesting to talk to. Well, this one is not. And when I'm talking about more of ugly, I'm talking about the inside of a person, not so much of the outside. But with her, I'm gonna say she has both because she's not. But no, let me be quiet. But she is not. She has a bad spirit. You know what I'm saying? She has an ugly demeanor about herself. But just be wondering why people just can't just move the hell on. It's real easy and simple. Celine, I knew that you were talking about Mars Mars Lowell. I can't even see what this is. How you doing? I don't know why these people have these handle names on here because I don't know who is who for the most part. Some people I know, but some people I don't. So forgive me if I don't say your name right. I know, Lionel, you're always sending good vibes. I'm not tripping. Like I said, I'm not an emotional wreck for the most part. Not at least not tonight. But I was just wondering that why people can't get along. And then I have always been taught, if I don't like you, then I don't have to be around you. But it is kind of difficult when you are working with people because you have people that have different agendas. And I just wish people can remember when we're working together, let's stick to the goal of what is the goal and the reason why we're here. We're here, if you're working at a school like me, we're here to educate children and to protect children. That's what we're supposed to do, to educate and protect, you know? And if it's not about that, then we don't need to be concerned about our prejudice and bias of one another or our perceptions of what we think a person might be. None of that should matters. What is the goal? See, I don't know. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, they used to be the little motto. I had one supervisor, Mr. Holmes, and I love Mr. Holmes, but he was a little strange man. But he would always say that to me, Selena, teamwork makes the dream works. He was like a little nerd, but he was so nice. And I said, yeah, you're right. Teamwork makes the dream work. He said, I'm all right. How's life treating you? I'm good. I'm okay. I hope all is well with you and everybody in the chat. And I just think about stuff like that, and I'm like, why can't people just work together? If not, leave each other alone. It's real simple as one, two, three. Why do people make everything so darn hard? I've never been a person to beat a dead horse. I've just never been a person like that. There's always been my personality. I have always eventually I'm gonna get to telling you how I feel. And once I tell you how I feel, I'm done with it. Now, I have already made my decision. Hey, I have already made my decision that let me go ahead and get rid of this idiot right here. Let me see. Not only remove you, but I'm going to report hate speech. Hey J Squad. And I'm going to remove that. Okay. Hey J Squad, how are you? Yeah, I gotta get these little demons up out of here. People have nothing else to do. Hide user from this channel. And I did it. Yes. Go find you somebody else to play with, you moron, okay? People are so evil. They have nothing else to do but to come under people's comments. But the other thing I want to talk about, I got to show this video eventually to you guys. Um, and J Squared, I said J Squad, I'm sorry. J Squad. I gotta show y'all this video about this white racist lady. Um, she was talking about Beyonce, and she was talking about how a lot of like she is wearing white blonde wigs, trying to be white and stuff like that. She was wearing, and she was saying how the black women have nappy hair, and that black women try to be like them, and all of this and stuff like that. And she was talking about how I gotta just show. Hey, 309. I gotta show y'all the video. I can't go into details, but you know, the race war has been going on from the beginning of time. I don't know why people can't just accept other people's differences, whatever ethnic group that people are in. And just if you don't like people for their color, that's a really, to me, a sad thing to not like somebody because of how they look. You know, I was always taught to like go based on that person's, personality or character or whatever. But it's really sad that in 2025, people still can't get along. They still can't accept other people's differences. And I don't know about you, but when I go to my family reunion, I have a multicultural family. Okay. Um, and I'm just going to be honest, a lot of the black men in my family, whether they're, you know, close related, my intermediate family, or even distant relatives, all of them have Asians, Hispanics, and whites, and a few of something else, Hawaiian. So my family reunion, plus through our generation, my grandparents and stuff were um had were multicultural as well. So we have a rainbow in our family, and a lot of us, the only thing that's different about a lot of us is our culture, but our skin, um, our blood, our skin is different, but our blood, we bleed the same. We have to breathe the same air. But people hate each other just for their skin complexion. And then you have idiots like this moron that came through that are so evil that they want to disrespect someone because of the color. And like I said, he can't even see me. He can only hear my voice, but I guess maybe I sound black to him. So he thinks that it is appropriate to come under somebody's platform that he doesn't know, but maybe sound and look different from him and be disrespectful. And you got to be a miserable type of person to do that. But anyway, the white lady was going off, about that and saying that black women try to be white, and they are the beauty standard. And I gotta agree to a certain extent because I see so many. Now I ain't gonna lie to you, I do love me some blonde hair. I ain't gonna lie to you. But have y'all ever seen went to Solomon's Island? Look up Solomon's Island, and you're gonna see a lot of dark brown people, okay, that have blonde hair and blue eyes or green eyes, just like you do. Like I said, in some of our families, I got aunties that had hazel, uncles that had blue, green, hazel eyes. I'll tell y'all, I had my grandmother's first cousin and my grandfather's brother pass for white when they back in the day, when especially when my grandfather's brother went to California, and he could actually pass as a white man, and that's how he was able to start his business. He had some type of trucking business or something. He and that was back in what in the I think it was in the 40s or something, when he went to California and he passed for a white man. The same thing for my grandmother's first cousin. Like, people don't realize black people. we're like rainbows. We are so different colors, different hair textures. But the white woman was saying how no black woman has blonde hair, and there is some black women that do bleach their skin and do some of us do try to look more, you know, European, but at the end of the day, we all steal from another person's culture. To be honest with you, get the white women filling their lips up with um fillers, so that they can look, have those big round lips. And I used to hate my lips because I felt like they were too big. But they were full even when I was younger, and I used to hate my lips. I wanted some little lips like my grandmother and my mom, but I got the full lips, and now people are paying for them, and most of the time it's Caucasian women that are paying, and other races that are paying for fillers to make their lips a little bit more plump. I'm like, go on with your bad self, cause I wish I could have got rid of mine. But that's why I said, why can't people just get along? Everybody's different. Everybody looks different for the most part, unless you're an identical twin. And even if you are identical twin, you're not going to look the same. There's going to be something different. But I find out that people cannot accept each other's differences. And that's why we had so much and still do have a lot of racism um, around the world, not just in our country. So people consider lighter skin more desirable, and darker skin is supposed to be ugly. Things like that. Dark skinned people are seen as, you know, gorillas and seen as other just bad things. And light skin is more desirable, more beautiful, and this is all over the world. It's not just in the United States, it's in India. India had it real bad. People, that are lighter complected Indians, they were considered more desirable and beautiful. The women were, and they were married, much faster than the darker women. So it's all over the world. People just can't just accept each other. It's always got to be a separation. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but what you said, Mocha Huntis stand up. Yes, indeed. So yeah, it's just a lot of. So you say you do have Italian in my blood. Oh, okay. So people, you said it's like Dallas, especially in the country, right? You said I'm in Mesquite. Oh, okay. Real darkness from one who don't know. Yeah. Like I said, it's always something going on. You said Selena Faxter had long been programmed in human from the beginning. Yeah, and it's just really, and really, to be honest with you, I believe we all came from Africa, including whites, including Asians. I mean, um, if you believe in, you know, uh, Adam and Eve and Eden, you know, I believe it was all in Africa where it all started. Some people say Mesopotamia, and I think that would be considered Iran in this day and time, if I'm not mistaken. But who knows? I think, due to the climates and, uh, people evolved to be different colors and different hair textures. That's just the way it was. Um, but I don't really get into it. I just know that um, human beings have always tried to create a separation because people wanted to feel superior than the other group. I think it's just a part of human nature. Survival of the fittest, who's better, that kind of thing. You said used to be considered Africa as well. Yeah, that's why I said I don't, want to be misspeak, uh, miss misspeak about the history, or misquote maybe some of the things that I have read and stuff like that. But I do believe we all came from, one place, and then we evolved over time into different, you know, cultures, and we adapted to the languages that wherever we were, our looks even adapted. Like I said, most in Africa, everybody, the sun is, it's hot in Africa. So those people were mostly darker complected, So depending on the region, but I don't want to go into all that. That's just too much thinking tonight. But my point is we're all different, and we all have we're just all different, and we're all going to not see things the same, but that doesn't mean that people cannot get along. But unfortunately, people in this day and time don't want to get along. You know what I'm saying? People like the back and forth. People like the drama. People like disliking another person for no reason, or being malicious sometimes to people, like for no reason. It's like it's no need for all of that. And unfortunately, we don't live in a world that, is so, we just live in a messed up. And it's not the world, it's the people. I'm gonna just say that. If some of these folks out here just they messed up. And I think our generations over time have messed us up. I don't know what has happened. But some of these people out here have not been raised right. I'ma say back to the baby boomers. Some of the baby boomers would be maybe some of our parents, our grandparents for some of us. But something happened. I don't know. People just don't have no morals. People just do anything, everything. They don't. And then what's so funny about people? They have morals for other people. Like they'll be like, "Well, you shouldn't have did this," but they doing the exact same thing to somebody else they don't like. So it's like, what the hell is you? Where you coming from? Don't have a standard for me when you don't have a standard for your own self. But I be listening to some folks. I'm like, you're talking to him, but or her, but you need to do it. You, you. But we're all hypocrites to a certain extent. I ain't gonna lie on that either, because we all have done and said things that we was like, why they do this? Well, they shouldn't have did that, and we be doing the same thing. So I don't know. Yeah, realist. I don't know what the hell, but sometimes I just be like, am I tripping or are they tripping? You said Great America's a melting pot. They gotta practice what right. Another version of crack is having a platform, influence, and notoriety. Oh yeah. I'm just like, yo, you can't tell nobody nothing when you not doing it. So shut up. I was looking at Dawson speak, and it was bless his heart. I ain't gonna say bless his heart, but I'm gonna say bless his wife heart and his kids and the woman that he was doing it to. It was this little preacher girl. I'm saying girl like I'm on the phone. It was this preacher, and he's a young guy in Oklahoma, and he went to Hobby Lobby, and I'm looking at this on Dawson Speaks. It kind of don't have nothing to do with can we just get along, but people are getting crazy by the day. That's what it has to do with it. But the guy went in Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if the lady was in a like the dressing room. I don't know if they have a dressing room in Hobby Lobby or what, but because I rarely go, I've rarely been in Hobby Lobby, so I don't know what they be having in there. But he was sitting up there, screen recording this lady. I don't know if she was in a dressing room or something, but he was had this woman on camera just recording her. So the security officer, when he left out, the security officer got his license plate number, excuse me, his license plate number, and they called the police. And she decided, her and the security officer decided to press charges against the man. Found out the man was a preacher. He got 4 kids and a baby on the way. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. Then Dawson Speaks. I'm about to say Dawson Creek because I used to watch that when I was growing up. Dawson Speaks said that he showed a clip of him talking about, hey guys, we need to deal with our sexuality. What's going on with us? And I'm thinking to myself, practice what you preach. You got a weird fetish recording people, that recording a woman that you've never met, and you have a whole wife at home with 4 kids and a baby on the way, and you recording this woman in the store. How sick is this? And it's not just in the church, it's people all over. They be saying having such a moral standard and high ground for other people. But when it comes to them, they're kind of like, oh, I guess they're exempt from it. Or "Oh, God forgive me." Okay, well, God will forgive the other person if they ask for it. But practice what you preach. That's why I tell y'all, hey, don't be disappointed with me, because I'm trying to figure things out just like you. And I'm not gonna have it all together. And I'm not gonna be right all the time. So don't look for me to have it all together and have it right all the time, because I'm not. And sometimes I just tell you, well, I was being hypocritical on this, or I was wrong about this, because sometimes I am wrong. But I'm gonna say 95% of the time I'm right. Maybe 80. But the point of the matter is, we all have been hypocrites. But check yourself first before you start checking other people. The worst thing about some folks is trying to hold the mirror to somebody else when you ain't holding the mirror to yourself. That is annoying. And I hold people's feet to the fire when they're like that, because I'm like, how dare you? Better take your ass on somewhere and look at yourself. But you always gonna find folks like that. What you said, Umar gets guidance from showbiz madams. What's up with him? And isn't he supposed to be something about he owes some money for a building? And I don't know, they said I think it might be he might be evicted from that building if he don't come with this money that he owes. I don't know how much it is. But Dr. Umar is a very interesting fellow. Some things, like I said, he's right on the target with, but some things I'm like, babe, go sit down. That's another educated person that, yeah, he lost. He might know a lot of African spiritualism and all of that, but when it comes to business and taking care of your stuff and not scamming people, well, he might lack on that. So, like I said, we all have our flaws. That's for darn sure. But Dr. Umar is like a lot of people, leaders that are around here. They may have good information, they may talk a good game, but when it comes to backing stuff up and actually being a walking how you talking it, talking, then they don't have it. You say he lost like his hairline. Yeah, he probably do have. I don't know if he paints that on or if he sprays it on or what. I'm like, some of these men, they about as bad as some of us women. They talk about our lace fronts, but they be pasting on them beards and that hair on that head, making all those lines and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is that? They have like these white lines that they put around their mustache or beard. I don't know what that's about. I would have to ask them. I have a homeboy who's a barber. Maybe he can explain that to me. But I was trying to figure out what the hell are they doing. And they be pasting on them beards, spraying that beard spray on there. And I'm like, and you want to talk about my lace front and nails and eyelashes? When you stop spraying on that beard and that hairline, then you come talk to me. Otherwise, shut up. Shit, because when I take my lace front on, I don't have no, like, as the white lady say, nappy hair. The white, fuck is this motherfucker? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm just like, man, these people out here, just get your ass up out of here. Bye. Don't come through here again, dumbass. But anyway, yeah, I was wondering, like, what is it that they put on there, and why are they putting that on there? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Kevin, how are you? So I was like trying to figure that out, and I'm like, well, why did they put it on there? That's why maybe it was just to make sure they had the lining perfect or something. You said Amorian was at Umar's hairline eulogy. What? Are you serious? Okay, I think you're playing with me, Alan. Yeah, but I see that and I'm like, yo, you can't be talking about nobody. Every man and woman now they be getting enhancements. So I don't know. These men be out here tripping. They want somebody all natural. Well, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But stop looking at the woman that got it, her hair and her weave and and all her plastic surgery. Stop looking at those women then, and focus on the natural. That's what you want. But I think a lot of people are just hypocrites. Hey Martin. I think that's the Martin show. Yeah. Hey Tay. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You said the chalk line is stupid. I thought you know what? I am so sorry. Let me unhide you. I'm sorry. I'm so used to rude people. Let me see. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Did I unhide you? Hit user. I'm sorry. Okay. I think I unhide you. I'm sorry. To I can't pronounce your name. I tried to unhide you. Okay, yeah, cause I thought you was being funny. I thought you seeing that's why you have to read the comments because boy, I was about to go in. I said, I think I called you a dumbass. I am so sorry. You said the white chalk line is stupid. See, this is why you should never do live streams late at night. Yeah, I am so sorry. You're not a dumbass. I've read it wrong. I was thinking you was calling me stupid because I didn't know what it was. Okay. Yeah, I'm just so used to weirdos. Like I said, it was one person that came in, a little racist, a little racist troll came through, and I guess I was still kind of like irritated from that. So I apologize. I really do. He said Selena fired. Yeah, and that was my fault. But I'm thankful that I can't pronounce your name. Tomatai, or something. I can't pronounce it, but I don't mean no harm. I'm really trying to I'm sweet as apple pie, but I guess sometimes on YouTube, social media platforms, it makes you a little bit more ready to like go off on people when they do say stupid stuff because there's so many disrespectful people out there. So it's not an excuse. I'm gonna just say T, because I done butchered your name enough. But when you've experienced it, you kind of understand what I'm saying. Tomato, okay. Tomato. Okay. Thank you for being understanding. And again, I apologize to anybody that may have offended. Oh gosh, to Meta, to Meta. If I didn't pronounce that right, then I promise you, I'm not slow. It is late at night. Tomata. Okay. Tomata. Tomata. Yeah, the racist guy. Uh-huh. Tomata. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. You said, yeah, realist, I was ready. I was just like talking about coming out blazing. I was about to go in, but I said, okay, no, I'm just gonna call this person a dumbass and keep moving. But and I don't need to do that anyway. So you just anyway. Ugh, I'm gonna have to really pray. God help me. Self control. Self control. So yeah, sometimes YouTube makes you kind of paranoid and very defensive. Yeah, it can make you very defensive. So I have to practice self-control a little bit more. Yeah. You said it's all good. Yeah, they be saying some weird stuff. And you be like, what kind of stuff you on? That's why a lot of times I don't like camming up because I know this one troll came on and he was like, he every time I came up, what did he say? Because I think Phoenix had erased it, but he was saying sometimes when I come on, he starts jacking off. I was like, this guy's weird. Like I was like, oh hell no. So I had to delete his comments because I didn't know what the hell he was on. I'm like TMI, keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. And then you have people coming on here calling you NBs and that's the nigga B and all. I'm like, oh my God. Lord have mercy. Then I have another little troll making videos. I'm like, oh my God, these people are weirdos for real. So it makes me a little kind of, yeah, it's crazy. So my buddy over here, I don't know if you're a woman or a man, Tomata, Tomata. But shoot, it can make you a little defensive at times. And I'm working on it. Like I said, I mess up a lot of times, but I try to bring it on back. But get back to the subject. You said they slowed up hitting the link. Oh yeah, mooning folks. Oh yeah, because I always, I never really had that because I always say if I don't know you, I tell people to cam up. And most of the time when they don't want to cam up, they'll drop down. I'm like, yeah, drop down because I know you trying to play. I ain't got time to be playing with you, you weirdo. But they come on and they want to. One guy had a little white penis, and it was very little, like a Vienna sausage that I used to eat when I was a kid. And he had the nerve to try to show me that. And I thought that was really crazy. First of all, your dick is not even big. It's not even middle size, like medium size. Like, and you got the nerve to try to show me your dick, and it's a Vienna sausage. If you ever ate a Vienna sausage, and they might say it different from where you are from, but in Dallas we call it Vienna sausage. And that little Vienna sausage is very little and it's pale, okay? And it is very little, okay? Like a baby. So those type of people, I really need to laugh at because first of all, your dick is small, okay? And then you got the nerve to try to get my live stream messed up because you want to be a butthole and show your little penis. And you ought to be embarrassed. You ought to be praying that God would make it grow or get some type of surgery to enhance it, you know? Um, so I really, I don't know. These people are strange, man. You said the guidelines is different. What you say? YouTube guidelines have gone out the window. It all depends on who. Right. Because it's some people, hey, machine, it's some. I was looking at you, machine. Who is you calling Smeagol? I was in somebody's chat. You were calling somebody Smeagol. I said, who you calling Smeagol? You a mess. Yeah, he was trying to show me that little Vienna sausage. And I said, what the hell is that? I said, sir, put the little sausage away. It's funny, but I don't want to see it, you know? Like, get your ass. People ain't got nothing else to do. And I'm so glad I have an appointment tomorrow and I don't have to go in. Because I gotta take care of some business and I'm like good. I'm taking off. And that's why I'm still up. You said what type of showing all that, showing your Johnson, and then it's small. That's really sad. That's really sad. But everybody can't be blessed. I understand. But you have to really watch people. But like I say, oh, you said I could tell who the pick was. What are you talking about? No, I was asking you who you were calling Smeagol. Tell who the pick was. I don't know. Shit, I'm halfway asleep and halfway up. But yeah, people just cannot just move on. And that's all I was just talking about. How we as people, we don't know how to talk to folks. We don't know how to be engaging. We don't know how to have boundaries. And like I said, I just learned the lesson of trying to use self control because I needed self control before I cussed my buddy out. And I got to go back and look at the pronunciation. Pronunciation, let's see. Tomata, Tomata. And after I done, you know, said what I said, bless their heart, you know. Hey, Jaren, you said, oh, Smeagol. Mhm. I remember looking at the Lords of the Rings, and I said, "Ooh, that is a horrible looking creature." Smeagol. Yeah, but yeah, people out here they getting crazier by the day. Tomata. Tomata. That's not how she said it. Hey, hi Mike. Now y'all know it's late and my accent sometimes it come off a little wrong. But you said, "Hey, hot grown, how are you?" Yeah, I hope y'all doing well, Mike. Everybody doing all right? Accent or whatever. I just talk country because sometimes, you know me, I can turn it on, turn it off. Now, when I'm tired, you gonna get, um, Oak Cliff, Dallas. But when I am, say for instance, if I'm trying to show you a video and do some commentary, then I might spruce it up a little bit and, uh, give you the articulation and all that kind of crap, But when I'm just talking like Selena, like just at night, like, nah, you ain't getting none of that. You ain't getting none of that. It's all good. I'm from Tennessee. Oh, okay. When you what? Say try that again. It's cute. What do you say? When you what? Say try it again. I don't know what you're talking about, IB. So crazy self. Shout out to Jamaica. I wish I could talk Jamaican. I really do. I really do. I just think that that is so cute, but I don't know the accent. I guess if I heard it, maybe I could practice it, but y'all have a whole different dialect. You said, "Oh Lord, it's late. She can't read." I said, you said you want to speak. What's that? Wagwan? What? Wagwan? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Hey, Mr. Bevins. Oh, Wagwan or something like that. I don't. Oh, just put something else in there. I might can say it. I don't know. Wagwan, something, something. But yeah, I'm just talking today. How are you? Good. How are you? How are you? I always forget to say how are you. Some days I'll say how are you. I say how you. How you? That's how we say it in the country, like my grandparents. Wonk wonk, right? Oh Lord. Me de ya. What? I can't even do it. Me de ya. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I know I sound crazy. Oh my God. Y'all have me sounding like a fool. But yeah, we say in the country, we say how you. So you said, okay, that means I'm here. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of my people had these accents. Some of my uncles and aunties can't talk. They mispronounce words worse than me. At least I can articulate some things, but most things, honey, they run all their words together. And I have a friend, his name is Keenan Keenan, and but he is Dominican and black. And so I have an aunt that cannot pronounce Keenan, right? And she'll say she because he looks more Dominican, she'll say, "Where Rollo?" she don't she can't even say Keenan, but she can say, "Where is Rollo?" I said that is not his name, you know. Uh, but she can't say. I don't know why she can't say Keenan, but she can say Rollo, and that's like she feel like that's a Mexican name, so she call him Rollo because that's the only thing she can really remember. I'm like, what the hell? No, his dad is Dominican and his mother's black. Hmm. So yeah, she called him Rollo because it's the only thing she can think of that would sound Mexican or to her. And I said, well, he's not Mexican, but when older people they got it up in their mind, they like, look, it all the same to me. I just put it together. I'm like, no, it's a little different. So I'm like, okay, well, hey, older people, some of them just, they just ain't gonna get it. Some older people are pretty sharp, so but like I said, some of these older folks, they'll just they think everything, yeah, they think everything that's Spanish is Mexican, and it's not true. And I'm like, y'all are so, they kind of close minded. Some older people are close minded, so they don't know or they're not knowledgeable of different cultures. So I'm like, sometimes I have to break it down from my aunties and my uncles and be like, no, it's not exactly true. Okay. But it's all good. If you speak Spanish, yeah. Everybody, you know, they have different cultures. You said gonna be in the bushes, Selena. Oh, okay. Yeah, everybody know that. And like I said, I just want to do this live because, like I said, I was just see how, like I was telling you about, if you go back earlier, how I dealt with some things, and I've still just started dealing with some things on this job, and how some people just do not know how to interact and talk to people. And I think if people will learn to put yourself in another person's shoes, and I'm not going to say treat people like you want to be treated, because everybody wants to be treated differently, so I can't really say that. But what I will say is, um you know try to kind of see where another person is coming from, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. But that's too much to ask for in this day and time. More and more people are more angrier. They're more defensive, just like I was defensive when my buddy, uh, T came in. I thought they were saying something else, and I almost went out. Well, I kind of did, and I'm just saying how we are very defensive, I guess, because we are hit with so many different things, which is not an excuse. You still have to be accountable for your own behavior. But we're hit with so many different things in so many different ways. And sometimes we forget, how to treat people, or how, maybe not treat people, how to just see people as another human being, because everybody at the end of the day has feelings, whether they are valid or not in our eyes. But everybody feels feelings. Like we all have emotions, unless we're robots or some soulless person. Um, and we can't not once put other people, we can't put ourselves in other people's shoes. Because I think about like some of these like supervisors and stuff that are over you. You said something about the crash out. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna crash out. I ain't gonna crash out like some folks I be seeing. I'm like, I don't know what is the spirit of what's going on and what's going on. What people, I'ma just say this, I don't mean no harm when I say stuff like this, but I just be seeing a lot of stuff, and I'm like, this person was a little different a month or two ago. I wonder what has happened. And I don't know if the days are people are getting crazier by the day, or is it really just people are going through stuff and they're internalizing everything and it's coming out in a bad way. But sometimes we all gonna have to check ourselves. I have to check myself. And some of the stuff that we be kind of letting out of us is not always good. And I just see a lot of stuff and I'm like, dang, I mean, I still rock with that person. I still like the person, but what done happened? Something done is going on in something going on with people. And I even look at myself. Why am I so defensive? What is it that makes me react to certain things and not to other things? Like there's certain triggers that we all have that, make us react certain ways. And I'll be trying to understand me. You know what I'm saying? Before I try to understand anybody else, I try to understand me. And some of the ways that I react, I said, why did I react like that? What triggered me for me to react that way? And not to make an excuse for it, because I need to hold myself accountable. But there's a reason why I react to certain things different than others. Um, I get more offended by people that I have been vulnerable with than a person that I just met we just met and we just have a surface relationship. If I have been vulnerable with you, if I've shared things with you, if we had personal talks and then you switch on me, I take that more personal than somebody that I just know on the surface. Does that make sense to y'all? And even with that, I still, if it's surface, I'm not gonna have this. I'm gonna move a different way than if it was somebody that I actually had a relationship with or really had a liking towards. I'm not talking about just romantically. I'm talking about platonic as well. Um, but it seems like sometimes I don't know if it's because of people's pride or ego, but sometimes people's pride and ego messes up a lot of things. I know mine has. My ego and pride has messed up certain relationships um in my personal life, and had I checked that probably earlier, I would probably be in a better place. You said I tried to give the benefit of the doubt half of the time, but I remember that I'm dealing with fully grown adults with responsibilities and common sense, just like me, so everybody can't get a pass. Folks be knowing what they be doing. Exactly, realist. And I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I don't take people as face value anymore. I used to do that and I got burnt every time because I'm going by what I see and what they're saying. And then but I'm basically probably just going by, they seem cool, and then you kind of get to know them, and then you find out no, they're not really that cool. They really They really maybe not be a good person. They really are not a decent person. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really take people as face value. I just get to know people, and if we good, we good, and if not, hell, bye. But I know, as I was saying before, my ego and your ego can mess you up where it can burn a lot of bridges with people too. So you got to be careful what you're doing, because your ego, it can be a domino effect. So where you think you might be doing one thing and going at one person, it might be a domino effect and it be affecting other people as well. So you got to be careful about your ego. Ego is I would say it's something that is a very kind of a tricky thing. You really have to know when to tell your ego to sit down somewhere. Um, it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. You going through something like that right now? Yeah, like I said, and we all have different types of relationships with people, and um, but I think sometimes people go too far. If I find out me and you ain't gonna rock with each other, me and you it ain't gonna work out. I'm gonna leave it be. And that's just my personality. Everybody's personality is different. Some people like, I want blood. If you do something to me, I want, hey, Easy did it. I want blood. And people like me, I'm like, what's that about? Just move on. I don't like you, you don't like me. Hey, you know? Some people, they say F you, and I don't care if F me, whatever. I don't care. Bye. But that's my personality. For some people, they vicious with theirs, honey. They ain't gonna let you go with your dear life. They gonna talk about you for 20 years. I'm like, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be talking to yourself, because I don't moved on. I want entertainment. Well, hell, this the wrong live stream. You might want to go where they have drops and all that kind of stuff, and dancing and singing and showing their boobs off. But tonight, uh, that won't be that type of live. So sorry, you might find it somewhere else. Yeah. So I put the link in the chat, but nobody didn't want to come up. I thought Ansel was gonna jump his butt up here, but I guess he done got busy. He had to get off the phone. So somebody can hit the link. Easy did it. I'm surprised you ain't tried to hit it. You ain't never met a panel you didn't love. Just like Young Riz wanna pop up on people panel. I don't know what he be talking about. Shout out to Young Riz, but bless his heart. But he's doing a lot better with his panel etiquette. He doesn't over talk like he used to, which is a great thing. Yeah, shout out to everybody. And double tap the screen twice. But yeah, I ain't got time for that. You don't have to do all that. But that's just my personality. Oh, okay. That's just my personality. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I know when to move on. It's not that serious. Uh, I think the real people that you actually have a real relationship with, maybe use some of that venom for that, but for the most part, ain't nobody on here that I know that well, it's a couple people I'm kind of really cool with, but I ain't gonna even use it for that. I'm like, shit, go on. If that's what you want to do, bye. I have a different type of personality. You know, I just I don't take time for any of that. Um, but yeah, people cannot just move on. They can't get along. And everybody you're not gonna get along with. So I understand that. Like I said, I ain't oblivious to people not getting along. Hell, that's life. You can get along with everybody. And that's not realistic to think that you're going to actually get along with anyone. I mean, get along with everybody. You're not going to get along with everyone. And but some folks, like I said, they just don't know. It's not that serious. Move on. I'll move on. You move on. Now, if you're trying to work out a relationship with somebody, that's different. That means we need to have a conversation. We need to be for real with each other. But most people don't want to be for real. I talked about that yesterday, Sunday. So many people so fake. Like they just be. Listen, I will let you know. I don't want to deal with you. Or yes, I will deal with you. Or I like you. I would like to work on the relationship. But some things it don't need. It don't even need to be a conversation. It don't even need to be. But see, that's why I'm different than some people. Cause I'm not gonna have a conversation with everything. Some things is just it's already known. What's the say? What's n- understood don't need to be explained. And that's exactly how I feel sometimes. Some things just don't need to be explained. We don't need to go into it. It's just sometimes people just need to walk away. So there's some things I will never explain to another person because it's not even worth it. I value relationships, but I do have my boundaries and my limits on how far I'm willing to take it, depending on what the relationship is based on. If the relationship is based on lust or fleeting or liking, it's not worth anything. If it's based on love, long endurance, long lasting stuff kind of stuff, it's worth trying to work things out. But if it ain't no use to it. You know, I'm sorry it didn't work out and just move on. But I'll be seeing some stuff on this YouTube app and I'm like, do y'all don't really know each other, right? So what's the problem? Hey, this is stupid. So many people got an ego problem. They trying to prove something. They trying to I understand. Don't nobody want nobody lying on them or anything. Like that's the worst thing you can do to anybody, whether you know them or not. Lying on folks. And you know good and well it's not true. Like I get defending your name. Like I understand that. But then there comes a time where you stop defending yourself, you say what you need to say, and shut the hell up. Hey, peep gang. and shut the hell up. You know, say what you need to say and move on. I say what I need to say and I move on. Whether people keep it going or not, that's on them. I'm not finna do it, you know. And then people, if they have wronged somebody, apologize because some things you didn't even need to say. You know, sometimes some people will say things you be like, well, they didn't have to say that, or they didn't really have to react to that, but they did, you know? And sometimes you need to apologize too. Because some things you say is it's inappropriate and it's wrong. And you have to be a big woman or a big man to admit when you are wrong. But then the other person has to realize too, what part did I have to play? Was it a misunderstanding? Did I misunderstand this? Or if I did misunderstand it and it actually was what it was, then okay, how am I gonna move from here? Am I gonna be disrespectful and move on? Or am I gonna like I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm gonna just be honest with you. And a lot of times I'm so glad that I don't have them type of problems in real life. Cause I just don't have time for it. People get on my nerves already. I would rather sit on glass than have to go back and forth with people that I don't even know. It just don't make no time. It don't make no sense, and it just it's a waste of time. Right. And they never take accountability, and nobody takes accountability. And everybody wants to keep saying, take accountability, but nobody takes accountability. They don't even look at themselves and say, okay, what part did I have to play in this? The other person don't do it either. Everybody's just trying to prove who's right. You know, relationships, when I have good relationships with people, whether it's romantically or platonic, relationships matter more to me than being right. You know what I'm saying? If you want some type of relationships with people, whether it's friendship or camaraderie on any type of social media app, if that's important to you, then it's important to you. So let that matter more than you proving yourself to be right all the time. Because we all know ain't none of us right all the time. There's always something that we could have done differently or said differently, you know? But people want to talk about accountability all day long and don't take accountability themselves. They just like that preacher that I was talking about going around there recording the woman in the dressing room. And he didn't take accountability, but he telling people at the church to deal with their sexuality and their issues. When he around here in Hobby Lobby going and recording this woman in the dressing room. What kind of accountability will he take? He had a wife and 4 kids and a baby on the way. But I notice a lot of people preach, but they don't practice what they preach. And we all have been there. I have told somebody, "Ooh, I wouldn't do that, girl. I wouldn't do that." Da 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 da. And the next minute, I'm doing the exact same thing, but I think it's different because, well, it's not exactly like this other person's, but it was the exact same thing. It was just a different person, a different situation, but it was the same action. So we all can catch ourselves and stuff. That's why I don't try to down people when people do try to change their lives and try to change. I said, well, I'm gonna give you I ain't gonna say the benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna just give you grace to just be like, okay, well, that's a possibility that you're trying to change. Because I know that as human beings, we're all, is it infallible? You know, we're all imperfect. We all are hypocritical. People can tell you all day long, don't do this, and they'll be doing it in the next 5 minutes. Right? We all do it. But people need to stop just stop talking about accountability and do it yourself. Be accountable to you. You can't talk about nobody actions when you going around here being crazy and being ugly, having an ugly spirit. Don't talk about nobody when you got some bad ways about you. That's why I try my best to look at me first. I try, cause like I said, I know a lot of times I'm not right. I'm gonna say I said 95% at first, but I'm gonna go and say maybe 85%. I'm gonna say 90. No, I'm gonna say 85%. I'm right, and yeah, so I'm gonna say 85. So I'm right sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Well, if I'm honest, I'm gonna say 50%. But anyway, the point of the matter, excuse me, the point of the matter is we all have our bad days and good days. We all have our faults. Um, there's so many things I would like to say, but because my channel is not a beef channel, I'm gonna leave that alone because then people say, "Oh, she trying to get in a mess," because you can't just have an opinion and speak on stuff without it being an issue. Because people don't want to hear the truth; they want to hear what fits well for them. Um, But I do see some things, and a lot of times I say, you know what? I can see both sides of different things, and I can put myself sometimes. I can be empathetic enough to put myself, or sympathetic to someone, to put myself in other people's shoes. It's kind of a difficult quality, but I can do it because I try to see where maybe the person is coming from. You know what I'm saying? I've done it before where I can really try to not be biased and actually get a fair um kind of perspective of what may understand where a person is coming from, maybe another person. And some people be like, "Are you agreeing with that?" I'm like, "No, but I can see their point of view on this and I explain it and stuff like that." That's part of I'm not gonna say it's part of mediation because being a mediator, you have to be unbiased. You cannot have any bias. You have to be neutral at all times. So you can't really give your opinion, but it does help you to understand people's points of views and how we're all different. But for the most part, sometimes we're saying the same thing. We all want certain things, you know what I'm saying? We all have a desired end of what we want, right? So, hey, sweet Rita. Now I'm just babbling. So I think I might need to get off because eventually I'm just going to be honest with you. And this always happens if I have some Don Julio or some Patron, um, or when I get sleepy. I start saying stuff and it might get me in some situations. So that's why sometimes I know I'd be like, okay, do I need to hurry up and get up off of here before I say something and get and write a check my ass can cash or what? Because like I say, I really just sometimes I just really just be talking about random things. But yeah, I don't know if y'all getting anything from this live stream because I've been all over the place. I was talking about the supervisor. I was talking about cultures. I was talking about people just be doing the most. Um just chill out. I was talking about a lot of different crazy stuff, wasn't I? I don't know. Speak your mind, girl. Maybe not. If I speak my mind, Rita, girl. girl, I might end up in some manure, girl. So I don't know. But I will say, I will say, y'all just, I'm playing safe. No, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna say it. Um, I think people, for the most part, are really full of bullshit. And people need to grow up at the end of the day. And that's the truth of the matter. People need to grow up. People need to hold themselves accountable and quit trying to hold other people accountable. That is what I will say. And some people have too many or too much of a ego that they can't even see their own faults. That's when we have problems. Um, People cannot see themselves for who they are. They see everybody else, they see everybody's faults, what they could have did differently, what they could have said differently. But what about you? What about you? Right? What about you? Why can't you see how you affect other people or what you have done to affect people in a negative way? Why can't you see that sometimes maybe you say things wrong or you do things stupid? Like people all it's some people that always see other people's faults and they never see their own, and that's baffling to me. I am I don't I'm gonna toot my own horn, toot, but at least I can see myself when I'm tripping. I at least can catch myself and be like, you know what? Yo, I didn't even have to do that. I didn't even have to say that. But some people are so damn prideful and they have such a big ego and thinking they have it together. And then they say, I don't act like that. But yes, you do. If you can't admit you're wrong, if you can't admit that you messed up and said things and did stupid stuff, I just don't understand it. Like I've had sometimes some people have I've been cool with, and they, didn't always, they maybe have offended me in some ways. Now sometimes it wasn't worth talking about because we really wasn't that close. So some things I just put in my back pocket, put in my mind. It's in my mind because I forgive, but I don't forget nothing. But I remember. And I'll just be like, you know what? We don't have that type of relationship. So it is what it is. But people they don't even take the time how they may have affected another person. They just think about themselves. You said this environment is a make believe for a strong percentage of people who use this app. They don't think accountability and consequences exist as long as there's a power button. Mm. I told myself one stands in my way or hold me back, but myself. Hold me back, but myself. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand people. And so, but I've had people that I was cool with. They offended me, but it wasn't nothing to bring to their attention because we weren't cool. We weren't close like that. Like it was just like, oh, okay, you cool, we cool, and it is what it is. Move on, But I don't know. Some people just don't see that they affect other people in a negative way. They see what people do to them, but they don't see what they do to other people. That kind of that kind of stuff. When you're not self-aware, that you are really a selfish, self-centered person to me. You're not self-aware of yourself and your effect on people in a negative or positive way. You just think everything is good because people don't say nothing, but sometimes people just I don't know. I know for me at times if we not really that close, it's kind of like I make a mental note of it, but it is what it is. I treat people accordingly. I'm not, like I said, I'm not one of the people that always gonna bring something to your attention unless it just really bothers me. And then I'm gonna be like, listen here, this I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care. I didn't care for what you did. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. But I don't know. Like I said, some of these folks out here, they have no self awareness, and those are some dangerous people because they don't see nothing they do wrong. They don't see nothing they do wrong. Hey, Icy. Some people think they are more than what they right. Way more. Shit. I'm like, where you come from? Who are you? You close to Jesus? You close to God? Who are you? I do not deal with those type of people real well. I'm gonna be honest with you. I run from those folks. They don't. But I see some people that they seem cool, but it's something, I don't know. It's like a switch or something go out on them. But that's why you can't be too surprised with anybody on social media because you don't know people. You don't know people. At the end of the day, you don't know their triggers. So when they are finally triggered and they are this different person that you never met, don't be surprised because you really don't know folks on here. We're strangers to each other for the most part. Some people choose, we choose to get to know outside of YouTube or outside of TikTok or Instagram, but for the most time, we're just surface. So don't be surprised when people switch or they seem like out of their character from what you usually see because that's who they are or something in them just clicked and made them act a certain way, but for the most part, that's who people are. So don't be surprised because when you see my little temper come up, that's really me. That's not somebody, another person. That's really me. I have a little temper at times because sometimes people be coming at you the wrong way and you get defensive and you start doing everybody like that. You're not trying to be, but you could just see one little word and then you just flip. So I just say that's something I'm working on because I don't want to be somebody that just be popping off at people that I don't know, you know, because of what I have experienced. It's not an excuse. I got to work on that. But that's some of my flaws. Some people act like they don't have none, or they try to focus so much on other people's flaws, they don't want people to see theirs. But your stuff gonna show up and show out some type of way. Just give it some time and get the right trigger, and it's gonna show up. It happens to all of us. We just need the right time and the right situation, and you're gonna see fireworks. You're gonna see an explosion. Because people can't hide who they really are for the long time. I mean, for the long haul, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. Believe me. All these people that start off when we start off in a relationship, the first couple of months is heaven. You love them. You think you love them. You enjoy being around them. Can't wait to see them. Then after a while, situation happens, and you kind of been like, "Oh, did I make the right decision? Did I miss something?" You know. I was looking at Anton Daniels. I think that's his name. I like him. I think that's the guy's name. He had this woman on there. He was doing a reaction of the. And this is off the subject, but I did say random topics. He had this woman on here crying, talking about she want to get back to being herself, and um, her husband's good to her, but she doesn't feel like herself anymore. She wants to be free and get to know who she girl, it shut up. You got women that's dreaming about finding and being with the right man. And you sitting up here crying because you want to get back to being yourself. Who was you before? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, it's some ungrateful women out here, man. You sitting up here crying, talking about you want to get back to being yourself. Did you not know who you was before you got married? Like, this is the real questions we should ask people. What are you talking about? Who are you? So you mean to tell me you've been living 30 some years, 36 something years on this earth and you don't know who you are? And then when you do meet a man that's giving you everything, treating you like every woman, well, most women like to be treated because some women like to be beat and strangled. I don't know why, but hey, that's a different issue. And you got a man that most women would dream to have. And you sitting up here crying, talking about you don't feel like yourself. And it's more women that's divorcing their husbands so that they can be free to find themselves, leaving their husbands and their children. What is wrong with these people? You talk about some ungrateful weirdos. And I'm sorry if some people get offended by that, but stay single if you want to find yourself. The hell's wrong with you? So you have women like that are getting married. You got and they gotta go leave their husband and their children and go to another state so they can find themselves. And this is not the first story this week I heard that. It was another lady. She said that she left her husband and her children, and she said, being a wife is great, being a mother is great, but I just want to experience life and get back to being me. You're gonna be you when you're married and you have children. You are you, hopefully. Who are you pretending to be? I don't know. Do these people pretend to be somebody and then all of a sudden they wake up and like, oh, I want to be my authentic self. Well, you should have did that before, right? Or while you're married. I don't I just I'm confused at what people do today. I'm starting to think that people are really crazy. Like, I thought that I was losing some screws, but each and every day I am so surprised that I am not losing as many screws as some of these people. Who raised these folks? You trying to find yourself. You should have found yourself a long time ago. The hell is you waiting until you get married and then have kids and decide you want to leave? That is so irresponsible and selfish. But that is just my opinion. I don't know what the hell's wrong with these hoes. Excuse me. Now that kind of pissed me off. That really ran me hot. I don't understand those type of logic of women. What are you missing out? Like, you missing out on single life? I will trade it. Okay? would trade it any day. Dating sucks. Getting to know people sucks. You meet guys that pretend like they like you until they don't. Then you get with some guys thinking, oh, this might be the one. They're a total nutcase. Or they just want to date. They don't want to get married. They don't want to have kids. They just want to have fun. Then the ones that you would consider, they already married. And then the ones that you meet, it's like they got so many women, you just in the you just in the group, okay? They got Jessica, they got Ashley, they got Stephanie, they got Keisha, they got Boom Quisha, they got LaQuisha, they got Nikki, they got Dewana, they got everybody. You just in the mix. So when it's your day, I get to you, okay? Like, what are we doing? I'm just like, the girl. y'all women, some of these women, y'all need a reality check. Well, y'all gonna get one when you out here single and you want to get back with your husband and he don't want you. And you gonna find out the choices that you have out here. And it is slim pickings, okay? Very slim pickings. So some of y'all women that want to find yourself, you better find yourself while you in your marriage. Don't find yourself, leave your marriage and your children because you want to go find yourself and break free. This is the feminine movement crap. Get your ass and sit down and go home, you know. And I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. So I don't know what's going on with these women out here, but man, this is stupid to me. That is so stupid. If you didn't have your own identity before you got with somebody, that's a you issue that you need to settle out, but you also need to understand you have made a covenant with someone, a commitment with someone. And then you have the nerve to bring other human beings into the world with this person. And you decide, oh, well, I need to do it alone. No, you don't. You're going to find yourself alone with nobody. And then the ones that's out here, you don't want. So I don't know. If I could talk to any married woman that's considering if your husband ain't whooping you upside your head and he is not abusing you in any kind of way, cheating on you left and right. He's trying to make a living for you and your children. He's trying to be the best husband and the best father he can be. Do not be stupid enough to think that there's something better on the other side because it's not. It's just not. It's seven women to one man in today's world because most men out here now are bisexual or they're gay. And then the other don't want to work and they're dusties. You don't want them. So you are wasting your time. And like I said, there's one percentage, but they are seven women to one man. I mean, seven women to one man. So the possibilities is very slim, very slim. Because when you go out here, you're sharing this man with other women because you best to believe, unless you dating other men too, he's dating other women. You're not the only one unless he says, "I want to date you. I want to be with you." But then, you know, that's not always a guarantee either. So I don't know. These women out here, man, I don't know. The feminist movement that messed some of these women head up, women empowerment stuff. I don't know what is going on. I believe in some women empowerment. Yeah, I mean, take care of your business, do what you need to do, be all you can be. But when it comes down to if you choose to be married to somebody, that is so irresponsible and selfish for you to be like, oh, I'm done with this because I need to find myself. The hell is wrong with you? So, yeah, marriage is for grown people. And I see a lot of grown boys and girls getting married. Okay. A lot of grown girls and boys in relationships. And most of these folks, because most of these men lazy as hell anyway. They want stuff for convenience. So if you ain't convenient, uh-uh, I ain't willing to work for you. So these folks, people are messed up out here. Like I said, people are getting crazier by the day. You got folks out here, they having these children and they unaliving these children. What is wrong? You bringing a child into the world. You carrying a child for 8 or 9 months or whatever, and then you decide, oh, I don't want this child anymore. And these daddies are just as bad as the mamas. I don't know if y'all heard about that in Canadian guy. He took his child, 9-year-old little girl. She was visiting him for the summer. He took the child and he unalived the child allegedly. And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? You have children and you bring them into the world, then you decide I'm gonna take them out. My daddy used to have that stupid saying, when he tries to discipline, like, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out, that kind of thing, some of our parents used to say. But I'm talking about these kids, some of these children don't even have a chance. They be little babies, little kids already. Parents trying to unalive them, beating them to death. It was one lady, couple of months ago, black lady. She unalived her little her daughter. I believe the daughter was maybe 8 or 9. Um, and how they found out because they asked the little boy, they said, "Did you see anything that happened? What happened to your sister?" Because the little girl had bruises, but the mama, of course, was denying it. And the little boy said, "My mama beat her ass." Now, this little boy is 5 years old, and he repeated it. He said, "My mama beat her ass." And that's where she had all those bruises. And, and they, connected that the bruises came from the mother, whooping her, And the little boy ended up telling on the mama. Said, "My mama beat her ass." You beating a 8-year-old to death? Like, really? Is that what we doing? So, and a little child, a 5-year-old child can repeat it. And they can because they can cuss like some of them can cuss like a sailor. One of my little great nephews, he was, it was me. I was outside with my two little great nephew. They're both 5. Then my other little great niece is uh 4, and the other great nephew is 3. And we were outside, and it was something. The one of them threw the ball at me. I said, "Oh shoot!" like that. And then and my other nephew said, "Oh, that's not a cussing word, is it?" I said, "No, shoot is not a cussing word." Then my other great nephew said, "Yeah, it's not like what the fuck." I said, "Oh, excuse me," and he was like, "Oh yeah." And I said, "No, God doesn't like us saying those words." So he said, "No." Then he said, "Yeah, that's not a good word." I said, "Right, don't say that word no more." But he did, but I'm like, boy, where did he get that? But he said, "Yeah, like what the fuck?" I was like, "Jeez," because I try not to cuss in front of kids at all. But yeah, these kids can cuss. They know what's going on. So that little boy was telling the truth about his mama whooping his sister, you know. So people, like I said, they be having these kids and unaliving these kids. Right. They be having anger issues a lot of the times. And the thing is, if you feel like you're gonna lose it, let somebody else keep your child. Or do something to prevent yourself from losing your temper with a child. That's all I'm saying. And it just don't make sense the way people carry on. That's all I'm saying. These women out here, these men out here. And then I was seeing something where I think it was in Atlanta or New Orleans. Uh, it was these men in red dresses. I said, "What the hell is this?" And see, this is what I'm saying. 1% of men, 7 women that are heterosexual, that don't have, and I don't know if some of these men were in the alternative community, or were they Heterosexual, I'm not sure. But I don't know about you, but I don't know want a man in no dress. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny. I believe, maybe I think Halloween, but that's kind of, but it's kind of it's a little tight for me. But I definitely now want to see you in no damn dress. That is so weird. Some of them, look, some of them dresses are cute. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of organization or campaign or whatever they had going on where these men were wearing red dresses. So I'm trying to figure out what that was about. And then some of them was twerking. I said, "Oh my God, you talking about Sugar City." But okay, girl. But yeah, I don't know what that's about. But I would not want to see my future husband in a red dress. I'm sorry. Now red is one of my favorite colors, but I don't want to see him in no red dress. Now that's a little funny. That's a little suspicious. And if your eyebrows and your skin look better than mine, it's a problem. Okay, it's a problem, Houston. We're gonna have a problem. So I don't know what's going on with these type of situations, these events that these men are doing and looking. But I don't want a metrosexual man. I want someone that is a little ugly, um, and that I don't want no bad breath, but I'm talking about like somebody that got some decent looking teeth, no jagged edges, no piano teeth. Um, just a little rugged. I don't want nobody I'm trying to see, oh, you in the mirror more than I am. I'm gonna be kind of thinking something else. So Diddy, I ain't never met no what? You said Adams boy. Hi, Adams boy, how are you? Excuse me. You said no, I don't want no jagged teeth either. Shit, cut you up with some teeth. Some of these men got some hygiene problems. And just like some of these women, they talk about these women with hygiene problems, stinking up. I said some of these men got some stanky problems too. They call them stanky boots. You got to get that checked. Get them teeth under control, cause if your breath is kicking, that's a bad deal. I don't want nobody breath smelling like dumpster juice. And they talk about us women. You get your stuff clean. Some of these men don't know how to take care of themselves and clean their genitals. I don't know what's up with that. Let me see, but yeah, that's right. Somebody wash your balls and you know what? Get all between those crevices. And us women need to do that too. Get up under when I was coming up, I was taught how to, what you need to do, you know. Some women don't even I don't know what's wrong with some of these women. Some of these women, I don't see how some of these women have any type of man. But I guess some men can just sleep with anything as long as they can put a bag over your head mentally and close their nose. They can just get in some funky stuff. But you go to these public restrooms and you get you go behind another woman and some of these women smell like straight up just Buddhist, oh, and you know what that used to be called, what's that, booty dick, oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, booty dick and pussy. And they come out the restroom and they smell so bad. And I'm saying, "How in the hell is anybody eating you? Anybody kissing you? Oh, you a stinky girl." They are so stinky. And they come out the restroom like, oh, that funk, it hits your nose. And it's so funky, you know. It's just so funky. And you're like, how in the world can man, any men deal with you? You stinky. You're stinky. And they gotta be some stinky men. But then when when they come out the restroom, some of them look really nice. And I'm like, you can't look this way and smell this way. It's just not possible. But oh, child. Oh my God. They talk about some of these uh and then women, some of these women they talk about people that have big butts or if they have a BBL or they like it don't matter if you have a BBL, big butt, little butt, flat butt, tiny butt, square butt, wop side butt, you gonna have to learn how to wash your ass. And if you don't know how to wash your ass, any ass can stink. You gonna have to learn how to get in that ass, excuse me, and get you some soap, get all up in that, get that towel, get to scrubbing, get to rubbing, pull them cheeks back. I don't care if your butt is flat as a pancake, get them cheeks back. Go all the way up and through there and take care of your business. So miss me with having a big butt smells or having whatever you have. You gonna have to learn to clean your butt either way. Okay? So I don't know what people be on, but I done seen some women got some flat asses, got some wop-side asses, got some upside down asses, and they booty stink. When it, like I said, that funk hit you once they leave there out their restroom. And I'm like, hey, something ain't right. So it don't matter. You just need to learn how to take a bath and take a shower, whatever you take, shower, baths, or whatever. You need to make sure that those things are taken care of, you know? But some of these people are just, I don't know, they don't know how to take baths. They don't know how to take showers. Some people got some funk going on. I don't know where that came from, cause I don't know, but I did say random topics, cause we need to talk about bathing. Some of these people do not bathe. So but yeah, it's just amazing how so many people have they just don't know. They're so ignorant about a lot of things. I don't even know how I got on that about funk and stuff, but oh, I think I was talking about people, these men wearing these red dresses, because I'm trying to figure out why are they wearing red dresses. See, this is why they feminize men. Like I've seen men that are in the alternative lifestyle or and they look just like men. They ain't trying to be no woman. They just, they just so happen to love the same sex or attracted to the same sex, but they don't have no dresses on or makeup on. They just be regular, you know. Some of these men, boy, they can switch better than me, and I'm a woman. Some of them, shoot, they can put their makeup on better than I can. A lace front, boy, they can. Boy, they could snap that wig on your head. You be looking like $1 million. So some of these, like I said, some of these men, they can do and look better than some women, But I don't know. It's scary out here, honey. That's all I can tell you. If you a heterosexual woman waiting on Prince Charming, good luck. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Cause you gonna meet uh, a lot of toads and frogs before you meet, I guess, somebody that's halfway decent. So I'm just saying, if you have met it, don't be stupid enough to think, oh, it's another one that might be coming around the corner because it don't work that way. Not in 2025. You got a lot of mess out here. So unfortunately, it's more glitter than gold. So, so why these people think the grass is green on the other side? It ain't always that way. It ain't always that way. But yeah, this was an interesting conversation. I don't know how I got on funk and ass though. I don't really understand that. But it is late. So it's a possibility that I could have just I don't know. Sometimes I just talk about certain things that be on my mind. But yeah, things are getting crazier. Just like people's hygiene is getting crazier by the day. Like, what are people doing? Just crazy stuff. It was something that happened with Trump. I gotta go back and look at what he did. It's always something when it comes to Trump. I don't know. Um, Joe Biden was already half dead, and now we have Trump. So that's interesting. So, somebody is reviewing. Somebody just keep reviewing 309's comments. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's YouTube says hell for review. Yeah, but anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about that. Like I said, people getting crazy about the day. People are getting weird about the day. People you think is cool, they getting weird. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why you acting different? And then they say other people acting different, but they don't want acting different. It's like, who are you and where did I meet you again? Because the person I met a few months ago was not that. So I'm trying to figure out where you coming from. And I asked a minute. I asked a minute. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'll ask in a minute. That's what I meant. Um, is everything okay? Or you seem different. But like I said, especially out here, a lot of these people they paranoid as hell. People don't trust folks because people have some people are I'ma just say this. Some people out here, they screw people over and it's hard sometimes for some people to deal with other folks. But I have to talk to myself too because everybody is not going to do you the same way another person or other people have done you. And it's kind of hard to decipher between the two at times because you met so many people that have switched on you, but everybody is not the same. And just because they don't agree with you or like what you're doing at the time, don't mean they don't rock with you or they don't like you as a person anymore. It's just that it's some ways about you that maybe people may not agree with or don't like. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing that sometimes we have to accept that everybody's not gonna like how we handle certain things. It may change people's mind about folks, but at the end of the day, those who gonna like you, and those who not, they not. So I just say for people, especially on YouTube, don't always think that everybody is against you or because some people are not. But I'm the kind of person, if you ask me, I don't really try to give out no advice to nobody, especially on here, because I'm gonna say I only have very few people I would consider a friend on here, and that's very few. So I'm not just gonna give my advice to people just because I'm cool with them on the surface, because these motherfuckers on here will flip on you. You be thinking you trying to help somebody, and honey, they take your stuff and try to do some lives on it. Next thing you know, your name in lives. They mad at you because you said you gave them your honest feedback. Well, hell, I thought we was cool enough. I could give it to you. I don't need you doing no damn lives on me because I don't agree with some. But some of these people will flip on your ass. So if you ask me, Imma tell you, but I would have to say a person would have to ask me before I would give them my honest constructive criticism. Other than that, I ain't saying jack. I may every now and then say, something sarcastic, but I ain't gonna say too much on it because these people flip on you in a minute. You said people don't accept people they already have a what's it template on how they're supposed to be. I have dealt with it online and offline. Real street people come at you behind the internet. I know people got shot and killed over this. Oh yeah, really? Me too. No, I don't know nobody personally, but I know like some stories about people that be getting into it with people and then they unlive they butt, and it's kind of like to me, you know, people don't people are real sensitive. And you ask me, I'm gonna give you my honest constructive criticism. But other than that, you don't ask, I ain't gonna say jack. And another thing, well, sometimes I might say something, and I'm like, I don't care if you get mad or not. But some things I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm chill out on it because these people tripping. See, you always going to sleep and waking up. I'm about to get off this darn phone too. But you said if they get mad on YouTube, that it's on. Yeah, like some stuff I'll be like, yo, that's stupid, or stop, what you doing that for? That don't even make no sense. There's been some people that have called and told them, hey, I think this is what I'm seeing. And you can take it how you want to. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. But and that's if, I'm cool with you, uh, or whatever. But some people, you be cool with, but you're not as cool before like you was before, then I probably wouldn't say nothing. Cause our relationship has changed. It's not the same. So if we connecting like that, like we were before, and then all of a sudden, things our dynamic of our relationship has changed. I'm not gonna feel comfortable with just calling you, like and just telling you. But if you were to reach out, if the person was to reach out to me, then I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just say this, and I'm not gonna try and tell you how to do you, but I see this, I see that, I see this, and because I try to help people, but at the end of the day, you can't help everybody. Hell, especially on here, because like I said, people will flip on you. You be thinking you cool with people, honey. They be having a whole different feeling about you. Like they be feeling away about you. They could be mad about you didn't do this or you didn't react this way. Yeah, money. They or you didn't react this way like they wanted you to. Like sometimes I feel like some people be getting mad because you didn't do what they wanted you to do. And it's like I didn't know that I had my mama and my daddy on here to tell me what I need to do. And then on top of that, you can't make people want you like that. Like people be feeling away and be like, well, let me not say too much. But anyway, it's like people be feeling away. They be in their feelings and then act like they don't care. But it's like, don't be acting, don't be doing it. I don't know why people do that. They be feeling away because you don't do what they want you to do. They don't want you don't do what they want you to do. And it's like, who are you? That's why I'm kind of skeptical now about dealing with folks sometimes, on here. I ain't gonna say too much. Mm, you get mad at me, shit. Just let it be. You know what I'm talking about? Just let it be. We can exist without it being a problem. But folks be changing on here. I was like, honey, I ain't doing. I tell you. Now there is somebody, a couple of people that I do want to. I do want to be, but I would put it on YouTube. It would be private, you know. It would be private. I would not put it on YouTube because first of all, I don't want people thinking I'm some type of YouTube thought. But it would be some people that I would meet, but it would just be in private. I wouldn't put it on public platform that hey, I met this person today or hey, I ain't doing it. Like I said, whatever's gonna do, it's gonna be private. Ain't nobody gonna know but me and that person or whoever that person decides to say something to, but I ain't gonna put it up there. You said change quick. Yeah, they will change quick. That's why I say, honey, you have to understand that these people got some. A lot of folks be having hurt feelings. You don't even realize people be having hurt feelings, or they feel a way that you are being throwing subs at them, or you doing this, or you saying it. You like, nigga, I ain't wasn't even thinking about you. Um, and then sometimes you feel like, okay, I did say this, but that's just my opinion. Did you just want me to call your name out? So I don't know. Sometimes it is necessary for you to call people's name out so people can know exactly who you're talking about. Sometimes not that necessary because it's like I'm just giving an example of what I'm talking about, but maybe some people, I don't know, shit. People get offended by everything now. So, well, you're going to stay offended with me sometimes because I'm going to do what I want to do at the end of the day and what I see fit. So, people are going to be offended either way. So, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, but the change up is real quick with people. But those people that I'm cool with, I like to remain cool with them unless they cross me in a way that is inappropriate and I will have to address it. And I don't mind addressing it. I don't care who you are. Um, but I just some things don't even have to be addressed. Some people can just go about their way. They can just go about their way. It don't need to be addressed. I learned a lot of the times, as a friend of mine would say, the gift of goodbyes. Some things is just not meant to just discuss. It's just meant for you to go your way and I go mine. Well, I'm perfectly fine with it. And guess what? I'm not jealous of nobody. Um, the people that I rock with, the people that I once rock with, well, I wish them well. Um, the only regrets I had was not to guard myself a little bit better on how I dealt with who I dealt with. Um, that's the only regrets that I have. But and not being so just being too accessible when I shouldn't have been accessible to people. You can't be accessible to everyone, and that's the only thing that I regret. Do y'all have any other questions on anything about me or about what I'm talking about? But that's the only thing that I have regrets on, being too accessible to certain people. That's not a good idea to ever be too accessible to people. I think you need to be exclusive sometimes, a lot of times. Keeps you out of trouble and you only around deal with the selective few. So you kind of know for the most part who you're dealing with, and if something were to get out, you know who you told what to. So if you talk too much to too many people, you don't know who said who say you don't know who said what to another person. So it's best to be very exclusive with people, certain people. Everybody is not meant to be around you. Everybody's not meant to be in your circle. And you have to guard your heart. You know what I'm saying? You have to really make sure that the people that you're around, not only do you have their best interest at mind, but do they have your best interest? And to be honest with you, not some people just don't have your best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? So I would say check yourself first and also check who you're dealing with. Those are the only regrets that I have, not being exclusive. The only thing. Wait a minute. Let me think about that. It may be a few more. So let me say that. Let me just, yeah, it's a few more. But that's the basics of just being exclusive, not accessible, and not wearing your heart on your sleeve. That's the worst thing to do if you're dealing with people, especially if you're dealing with social media people. Do not wear your heart on your sleeve. Is you're gonna be messed up every time. Every time. Every time. Never wear your heart on your sleeve. And what's the other thing? And don't take sides. You can look at a situation, you can see both sides, what's right, what's wrong. You can see if you're really being objectively, you can see what things that the other person could do, what the other person could do. But don't take sides because guess what? It will always turn back on you when you take sides. It always does. That's why I stay out of other people's business. I may say little things like, I see this, I see that, but I stay out the way because sometimes being the peacemaker or trying to be the peacemaker is the worst position you could ever take. Because sometimes when people be going at each other, then they start looking at you. Then they start going at you. So you just, mm-mm. That's why I say I don't give my opinion on something unless a person asks me. And then I might, considering who it is and the situation, I might go ahead and say it. Because I know these people really, sometimes people really don't want the truth. They just want you to agree with them so because it makes them feel better about being a butthole. And that's just the bottom line. You know, most people don't want constructive criticism. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to see themselves as a bad person when they could be very well a lousy person. So they like people that just lie to them. So yeah, they don't really want the truth for the most part. That is my opinion. And some people do, but it's very few and far in between. Most people want you to lie to them and tell them it's going to be okay when it's not, and tell them that they right when they did wrong. So hey, this is the world we live in. That's all I can tell you. World of make believe. You can be anybody you want to be and act like your ish don't stink. You can be anybody you want to be on here. You can be a princess, you can be a bad bee, you can be a millionaire, you can be the bad guy, you could be the pimp, you can be all that. Do y'all remember I used to love him even though he was horrible what he did as I guess as his profession. Do y'all remember Simple P? I thought he was so funny. That dude was hilarious. And he died, I think, a couple of years ago. Simple P. Boy, so many people dying lately, left and right. I'm like, every day. But people died every day from the beginning of time, I guess. But it's like as I getting older, I'm just seeing people just dying. People 36, 40, 50. Like people just left and right. What's happening? What's happening, D? Um the sister, what's happening? And the little girl name was D. And she died yesterday. No, Monday. She was sick. I didn't know she was 60 years old. I thought she was in her 50s, but she died. I'm like, wow. So many I so many actors. Yeah, so many actors and actresses and entertainers and influencers are just dying left and right. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I used to look at What's Happening reruns because, I think What's Happening came out in the 70s. I wasn't even born. But I think it came out in the 70s. I don't think it came out in the 80s. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, she was from New Jersey. Yeah, she was a doctor too. I think she was a veterinarian. But she ended up passing away from some type of, I don't know if it was breast cancer, because she had breast cancer and had a double mastectomy a few years ago. And I guess it was breast cancer again. But she ended up passing Monday. I'm like, dang, I remember watching them reruns on Channel 11. It was CBS. And back then, and but I think that show came out in the 70s. But they used to play the reruns in the 90s. I used to watch the show. I said, they got the best shows in the world. They got Good Times. Oh, I used to love Good Times. Me and my grandparents, they watched it. They love they love JJ with his ugly self. JJ in Florida. I have one auntie that's named Florida. Yeah, Florida and James and little Michael and Thelma. Oh, I used to love that show back in the day. They used to play those reruns. They still play those reruns on BET. Hey Faye. I used to watch it all the time. I love me some good times. Good times and oh yeah, they had the best shows back in the day. Um yeah, good times. Everybody knew about good times. Um Cosby Show, Theo died. I'm like, hey, this is crazy. This don't make no sense. It's going on. People just dying. Not only they getting crazy, they just dying just every day, everywhere. Kids, middle age. It matter. I don't know about people and their relationships and what their belief system. I really try not to judge people for what they choose to believe or whatever. But we got to get it right. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know. I just don't want to leave this world not making a great or good impact on somebody. But some people just live their life for themselves. They never think about helping other people. They never think about trying to be a better person. They just go around here being hateful and ugly to other people and expect their lives to be blessed. So whether you believe in God or not, you think it's good for you to just have that type of planting those seeds in people's lives where you just a vicious, ugly person? I don't understand it. But I just didn't understand like why people do what they do. And it's like, do you not know we all have an appointment with death? At any time we could just drop dead. And most of us are so unforgiving. I am guilty of it. We're so unforgiving of everything. And some people, it's warranted. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some folks, they need to get stomped. But at the end of the day, we ain't the judge or the jury. So eventually we're gonna have to let that go. Eventually we're gonna have to let that hate and that unforgiveness go because it's really not holding them back, it's really holding us back. So while you sitting up there hating another person for what they did and what they said and stuff, they done gone on about their life. And then you done dropped dead and didn't live life because you was so angry trying to prove a point to somebody that don't even care if you live or die. But that's just how we do, sometimes. Cause I've done it. Just be holding grudges. And I can hold one, okay? I can hold it just as strong. Oh, I'm telling you, talk about through the through the grit of my teeth. Mm. But I learned that's not really good to be that way. You got to learn to let some things go. And your ego can cause you trying to prove a point, and it's just like it's not even worth it. At the end of the day, you still got to deal with you. And a lot of that stuff, people they have so many burdens on them because they just carry everything. They're just like Erica Badu say, the bag lady. They just carrying all them bags. You gonna miss your destination because you got all them bags dragging you down. The hell is wrong with you? And that's what I had to realize. Let some of that stuff go. Quit trying to always prove a point and be so super petty. That's what's wrong. I used to be that well. Sometimes I can still be like, like that, be super petty just to prove a point and to get it back at your ass. But at the end of the day, some of that stuff I had to let go because it's like it feel good at the moment, but then it's like it's still a burden on me that I don't need. Like it's too heavy. Sometimes those things are too heavy on you. It's like, what's the point? There's too many petty people on here. Let some shit go. Some stuff it ain't even worth it. Like you gotta grow up. How long you gonna carry your petty boots? Like you gonna keep it up? You gonna keep going with this? Let it go. It's not that serious. People are gonna always judge you. They're gonna always say you should did this. You should have react this way. You should have hold their feet to the fire. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to answer for what you do, good or bad. And I don't care if you don't believe in the Most High. You're gonna answer for whatever we do. We're gonna answer for it. So, some stuff it's not even like what's the end game? I always ask people, what is the end game? If there's no end game to it, it's a waste of your time. Okay. If it's not an end game, it's a waste of your time. And you need to go sit yourself and your ego down and get you some humble pie. Most people that are really prideful, sometimes they stuff gonna come back on their ass. Like it's gonna be some situations where things are going to hit you in the face so hard, you're not going to have anywhere to look up but up to the sky. And then that's when some of the people that don't ever pray, that's when they're going to be praying because they don't have a choice. Because really, God be their last option anyway. But sometimes life will humble you. It will sit you all the way down. You think you sitting some way all the way down, but it's gonna sit you all the way down. Show pride, I have to say that to myself because we can be very prideful. And prideful being too prideful is a warning before destruction. You get warnings before destruction. But some people don't heed to those warnings because they too prideful to see they're blinded by their own pride. Yeah, I don't know about that IB, but he did put people in their place. But sometimes I can be a little petty boots, and I have to kind of not be so petty because it's not that serious. You said your Texans are good at home. Ho- You said holding grudges, you mean? I don't know about Texans. I think it's people. So let's not put it all on Texas. Let's just say most people hold grudges because most people do. I had one auntie, boy, she could, people could hurt her. It was like they could hurt her. She don't even remember it. And if she did, she just say, well, it happened. It just is what it is. She was so graceful about forgiving. I wish I had that spirit like this auntie. She just, it's some things in her life hurt her, but it's like she didn't hold on to it for too long. And I think that's the best way to be sometimes. You can miss out on life a lot of the times when you keep stuff so long. And one thing I can say about this auntie, she knew the meaning of letting things go. If anything, I wish I could take that from her. You'd be better off. Sometimes it's essential for people to let things go. It's hard, but it's essential, you know. Now, I ain't gonna say I'll ever forget it. 'Cause I have a good memory, so but I think the bad feelings that you feel about a person eventually will kind of fade away because you understand that it happened, you went through it, you learned from it, and you moved on. So the effect on you is not like it was before. You can just be like, well, it is what it is. Move on. I'm done with it. It's over and done. What's done has been done and it's over. Right. So I'm learning to let some things go, a lot of things go. Now, some things I'm like, no, 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 we're not doing this. I'm, but I'm growing. I'm growing. I'm better than I used to be. But I'm growing because I'm determined. This is one thing that people don't know about me. Once I got my mind made up, I'm determined to get a certain thing done. And I'm determined to be a decent person. I'm determined. I'm determined to be genuine as much as I can, um, and not be fake, not be pretentious in any way, um, and just be real, not be flaky, just be real. I'm determined to be decent. I don't think nobody, I don't, this is my opinion. I think we're all flawed beings, and our righteous to the Most High is like a dirty rag. So we'll never be anything good. What I think the goodness that some of us have is what He puts in us and what we develop over time if we allow that to flourish in us. What I mean by that, if we have a little bit of a giving spirit, like if we have that, that's a part of us, and we continue to give to people without expecting anything return, it becomes more of us, right? Just like with loving people or, being compassionate to people. Once we practice it and put it in use with situations that we deal with, it becomes more of who we are. And those are the great qualities that I believe God puts in different individuals. you know, but it's something that you have to grow. It's something that's a seed that is planted in us. And then how we use it and how we deal with it with others, it grows. It's just like the bad stuff. I started cussing at an early age because I was listening to the kids at school. The only cussing word that my grandmother said was shit, but and maybe ass. But I went to school and hearing these kids cussing, and then I picked it up. And it was a habit because of what I heard, and I continued to keep doing it. So it became something that I ended up flourishing in. I knew how to say MF and all kinds of bad words at an early age because children, we're all sponges. So what you gravitate to, you're going to, it's going to be more of who you are or a part of you, I would say. It's going to be some bad habits and some good habits that you would develop over time. And sometimes it just takes a little seed. And once that little seed is planted, then it's kind of like you start, growing in it. So you got to be careful about that. That's why I tell people don't be try not to cuss in front of your kids if you can. Now, if you don't really care about it, that's fine. That you just like they just words. But try to be careful about vulgar language around your kids because kids are sponges and they take that, they remember all of that and they use it. And they start developing these little bad habits, cussing everybody out. Like I was telling you about my little great nephew. He was talking about I just had to stop him. Like, we don't say those words. God is not pleased. But yeah, you just have to kind of teach, your children and little people you around and you mentor. But I think I've been on here long enough. Um I said everything I had to say for the most part. But some things I try to be, I ain't gonna say careful, but I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about them. So I try to watch certain things that I say because you just never know who's listening in the clouds. Some people that act like they don't listen to you, or maybe they're asleep and not up. They're listening to you. So you can't give, I would say, the devil ammunition. But people are gonna use it any way they want or feel any way they want to feel. I will get off of this live tonight and somebody will say, she's talking about me. That's just how some people are. That's just how some self-absorbed people. And sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I do have some people in mind when I'm talking about certain things, and I'm like, you know, certain things I'll say. This doesn't, I might be referring to a situation, and they say, "Oh, you're talking about subliminals. Talk about subliminals," that kind of thing. And then at the end of the day, um, a lot of times you'll have to go down the list and say, "I'm talking about Derek. I'm talking about John. I'm talking." You gotta have to go out because some of people, a lot of people do some of the same things. And it comes, they be like, "What the hell is you talking about, Selena?" People do talk, and I know people do talk in subliminals. Hell, I did it before. But sometimes it's like, I don't know. I just be talking about certain things that I see, but I see it in different type of situations and different type of people. And some people say, well, that's just excuse for not calling out a person out. But no, that to me, every time, you don't have to say everything. Like, Then if I did that, then I'll be messy. So I don't know what the hell to be besides be myself and express it the way that I want to express it. Um, and it may not make sense to you, but it make perfectly sense to me. It'll be sometimes I will talk about certain things and I'll be like, so and so, this person, and I'll say their name. But some people I'll just be like, it ain't really nobody I have in mind at the time, and then it might be a couple of people that I have in mind at the time. But do I have to tell you that? I'm just asking, cause and if I don't, then am I throwing subs? Am I being subliminal? Or do every time I talk I have to call out everybody's name when it might not even be about anybody in particular, but it's about what I have seen in different situations and different people. Do I have to call out everybody's name? I'm just asking a question. But I think you guys get a glimpse of why I think people are nuts and why not all, but some, and why sometimes I'm nuts. Hell, I be nuts too. So hell, we all in the same boat. We all got some bad problems at times, honey. We all got some real misunderstood, crazy ways, as they would say, crazy ways. I got some crazy ways too. I do some stuff that I like. Why the hell did I do that? Why the hell did I do that? No. Why did I say that? And I now I know I'm getting sleepy, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off because once I start talking in circles, I am already asleep. Okay. Y'all just hear my mouth, but my brain is gone. I already said good night. So I'm gonna get off of here so I don't sound any more ridiculous than I already sound. You said when I come here, I come to hear you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, IB, because many of the times, as some content creators, some people say, well, they don't want to just hear you just talk. They want to have excitement. They want some drama. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm not exciting like some other people. I mean, I could cam up and do a little dance with some Daisy Dukes on and all of that, and a little shirt, and throw my boobs in the camera and just looking just crazy. I don't know, or maybe sexy to some. Some of these little horn dogs out here, honey, they see any little titty, they're going crazy. Um, Maybe if I, did that or whatever, because I really try to talk about certain things, and then when I get some time, I'm gonna go over that video I was telling you about the white racist lady calling everybody nappy hair. I'm like, lady, I could take off this lace front. I do not have nappy hair. And what is nappy to you? You don't even know what nappy hair is. Are you talking about tightly coiled hair? What are you talking about, lady? Everybody knows when I take out my lace fronts, I have a head full of hair with edges. I'm not an edgeless person walking around here with a little twig on her head. Like every black person doesn't have short, tightly coiled hair. Like these people are so crazy. And I was gonna play that video. I'm gonna do it on my laptop, but I'm not. I'm probably gonna do it one day this week because I want you to see this lady for yourself. You're like, what's wrong with this woman? I don't, and again, I don't have nothing against white people. Like I said, if y'all look at my family, somebody was sleeping with the slave master, okay? Or was raped by the slave master or something. Cause my bloodline looked pretty white. I don't know what's going on, but somebody was they was in the slave quarters. So I don't have an issue, but some of the stuff that some of the people say, and we all do it to each other. Um, Cultures, we all do it. We all judge other people. We all talk about the Mexicans, they can't drive. Uh, you know, we talk about the black folks ghetto, nappy hair, like the woman say, white folks can't dance. Uh, they all Republicans, all that kind of stuff. We all have different prejudice and different, things we say about each other. It's just being honest, you know what I'm saying? People that say, "Oh, I don't ever say that. I don't see color." Yeah, okay. You might not in your perfect world, but everybody else does. And I hate when people say, "Oh, I love everybody. I like green, blue. You can be green, blue, yellow." It ain't no damn green, blue, yellow people on here. Like, I ain't trying to be funny. Now, one time, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I had went to I used to when I first got out of high school, I worked at a PetSmart. And it was this man would come in there at PetSmart and he was silver. I'm not lying to y'all. Y'all would probably think Salida lied. This man was silver. I don't know if this man is still living or not. But I was like, what the hell? His skin was literally silver. Okay, he was a Caucasian man. And he ended up having he told me it was some type of nickel. He said he took a supplement for years and it was a nickel. It had the nickel supplement. It was I don't know, it was one of the minerals. And he kept taking it and it turned his skin silver. And I said, "What?" Oh my God. Everybody stared at him when he would come into the store. I said, bless his heart. He looked ridiculous. But it was some disorder that he ended up having. And I'm just like, I felt so bad for him. But at the same time, like, nigga, are you still taking it? And silver? Like, everybody is white or black or brown. No, not white or black, but brown. You know how we just different colors, okay? But everybody is different colors, and this dude was silver. He's a Caucasian man. I said, "Oh my God, this is crazy." I couldn't even understand it. I couldn't understand it. I just thought it was yeah, it was not a nickel. It was silver. It was something with a supplement that had silver in it. And he kept taking it. And hey riders, and he turned silver. I wish I could find I don't know if this man is still alive. This was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. I said, what the hell is this? You know? And so, I don't know. And he had a little cat or something. I think he had a cat. I don't know if he had a cat or a dog. I couldn't even focus. But, I tried to be nice to him and treat him like everybody else, but, cordial and friendly. But I'm thinking to myself, this is the weirdest stuff I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I ain't never seen nobody look silver. Now, this man was literally silver, and y'all had to see it to believe it. He looked like the Tin Man on The Wizard of Oz. That's how silver he was. It was scary. And he had this disorder. I can't remember what he said verbatim on how it really happened. and he no, he didn't have a beard. He was clean face, little white guy, with brown hair, and he had a silver complexion, just like the Tin Man. And so I was just like, this is not I don't even understand this. But it just come to show me, you just have to treat people right, regardless of how weird, and I mean weird, people look and act, Just try to be kind to people. That's the only thing I learned from that situation, because he got some stares, honey, because people was dropping everything they had in their hand. The dogs was going crazy, cats was going crazy, birds was chirping and doing all weird shit. I don't know what was going on, but something was in the atmosphere when he came in there. I don't know, but I always treated him nice. 'Cause I'm like, I don't know what type of time this he on, because he's strange, strange looking. But I try to be cordial and polite to everyone because you just never know. He probably felt self conscious about his disorder, so I always try to treat him, very polite and tried my best not to stare because it was just a unbelievable sighting. Um, it was just unbelievable. Hello, NT. What's this? NKT 44. Selena, why are you so a beautiful woman? I don't know. You might want to ask mom and daddy. I think they had a role in that. But thank you. I appreciate you. At least you didn't come in saying nothing crazy, like just some off the wall. So I appreciate that for sure. You said it was a thing back in the early 2000s. Well, maybe it's this man because he was in, it was in Dallas. I lived in Dallas. I was at the store in Dallas. So that could have been that man, but it is some type of disorder. You know what it was. But I appreciate you, Nick K TV 44. I don't know why they have these handle names. This is annoying to me. See the handle names. I'd rather see the other name that they like. I don't know why they do this on here. Stupid. Stupid hands. YouTube always doing something weird. But yeah, that was some weird stuff, y'all. When I seen when I seen them uh when I seen those that silver man, I said, Lord have mercy. I thought I would never see nothing that weird. That was so weird to me. But anyway, we had a great time talking on my random topics. I hope everybody had a great time, or you laughed, or you chuckled, or you was confused, or you was happy, or you was whatever. I hope that you got something from my live stream. I hate that nobody didn't come up because I wanted to check to see if this link actually worked. But nobody came up, so that's good. That's fine. Maybe we'll do it the next time. I appreciate you guys. Double tap the screen 2 times, and we'll do this again. I'll probably go live again later on today. Um, well, I'm gonna go in here and give me some sleep. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe. And if you are not a subscriber, that you will subscribe to my channel and give me a try. I usually do topics, but today I was just doing random talks about how strange people are getting each and every day. And hell, maybe I'm getting strange. I don't know. But I do talk about a lot of different things. So hopefully you guys give me a chance and like, share, and subscribe to my channel. All right, guys. Love you to Reese's Pieces. And yeah. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.